Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. No, I'm just joking. Greetings to y'all. Yeah, I was taking a little bit of time off and definitely moving into another direction, like moving into some other things, that I have going on in my life. But it's like I can't forget about the people, can't forget about, my duty really and obligation, you know, that I have, to manage this channel and to make sure that you guys, get good information and make sure that you guys just, have something mentally stimulating to look forward to. I mean, so much junk on the internet, and a lot of people have been requesting that I do a video. So, I said I was going to do this video, but the eclipse happened. And the eclipse, I'm glad I waited till after it because, like, with this eclipse, I just feel so different. I feel like we went through like this really dark portal, and now we've shifted based upon this eclipse, and I feel like now our bending techniques, like like they talk about in Avatar, like you have air benders, water benders, and fire benders, and what may have earth benders. Well, I feel like that's activated right now. Our bending techniques have been activated, so we can now begin to use spirituality to change our situation a lot easier. I mean, we always could, but now it's even more easier to do this because of the fact that we've been upgraded almost to where now it's really not about making money off of the sweat of your own brow or making money going to work for someone else, but it's about using your creativity to manifest things for yourself. We are in a creative situation and a creative scenario right now on this particular planet because of the eclipse and a few other things that played out. I think this was like the fourth blood moon. This is like the end of a cycle. I was tweeting earlier today saying that this is the end of this is what's called a 9 day according to numerology, and basically 9 represents completion, 9 represents ending. So this is kind of like the end of a really long cycle that we just went through. So like there's some really exciting things that are getting ready to happen. However, you got to be studying. You got to be, like your creative juices are activated right now. But not only that, you have to learn how to merge your creativity, your intuition, your bending techniques with practicality, with book knowledge. So it's time to increase whatever field you're in. It's time to increase your awareness of that field. I don't care if you're in IT. I don't care if you're in law. Whatever you in, I challenge you right now to advance yourself. It's time to essentially heighten your learning curve so you can process information a lot faster so you can change your situation. I said I was going to talk about like how we can work with these planets and we can use these planets to manifest better situations for ourselves. And that's essentially what I want to cover on this episode. Essentially what I actually said was that we can even learn how to hustle the planets to make our situation better. I'm going to kind of like expound on what I mean by that. See, it's like two ways that most conscious cats, religious cats, spiritual cats, whatever you want to call it, believe. One way is that you believe that somebody else is in control of your life, whether it's a god, a higher entity, whatever it is. There's something that supersedes, that can override you and control you. And then you have another group of people that believe that you are the controller of everything that happens in your life. You create your own reality. And both of these, there's no right or wrong, but from my research and my studies about studying science and solar biology is what I call it. Shout out to C and Bay and the Clock of Destiny brothers. Studying solar biology has taught me that it's really actually a middle path. And the planets, what they do is that they influence energy. That's all they do. So the planets aren't gods. The only thing the planets can do is influence energy, whether good or bad. That's all the planets can do. So the planets can activate certain feelings and certain emotions within you. The planets can create certain tides and currents. The planets can dictate as to whether or not something good, or how you can basically maximize off of something that's going on in your life and make it into a good situation, or when it's a good time to do something. The planets dictate timing, essentially, is what it is. And the thing is that We're locked into this fixed reality, and that's why we can't learn how to hustle these planets, is what I call it, because the planets are always moving. So when I say you got to learn how to hustle them, as they move, they shift energy, they change up their mode of thinking. They're always changing. The planets are the ultimate game changer, if you will. So you have to learn how to ride with the new energy. There's no rules, really, essentially. There's only just feelings and emotions and how you feel about a particular thing. And if you waiting on someone to give you a job, or if you waiting on, someone to make a sale or buy something from you, if you into business or whatever, you're doing yourself a disservice by waiting, because you're standing still. If you're waiting, you're standing still. And I just told you that the planets are always moving. So to hustle the planets, you have to learn how to hustle with the planets. Essentially, is what I really mean. So, and then in another scenario, if you're saying, well, I create my own reality, and everything that happens to me based upon what I'm thinking, and if I want a better situation for myself, I need to start thinking different. You're limiting yourself in that, because you have to weigh out energies. Things flow in cycles. So when you know and have a little bit of knowledge of astrology, and have a little bit of knowledge of wherever you say, for instance, if the sun is in Aries, you may tend to make decisions a lot faster, because Aries represents a fire sign. So this can kind of make you move out on things. It makes you very ambitious. So you can make decisions that aren't really thought out. When the sun is in Aries, you may want to start a bunch of stuff, but then you never finish it, type of thing, when the sun is in Aries. So what you have to do is that you have to learn how to, you want to hustle with the planets, you have to learn how to take on short-term projects and work with short-term projects as the sun transits through the sky. So like when the sun is in Aries, you may start one project and finish that project before it moves into Taurus. And then when it's in Taurus, you may want to take up another project. And this is how this new energy works. We can't, and I know you're like, well, that's not possible for me, because I have a job, and I have a set job, and I can't just go quit my job and go try this out or go try that out. Well, if you got a job, that's fine. Keep your day job, but then start hustling with these planets at night. It's just like, almost like essentially like gambling. You might have to switch your bet on a different number, type of thing, because you want a business, but having an ultimate business. Hold on for 1 second. Let this noise get up out of here. Filter this noise of these evil people in this town. Hate when I shoot these videos, but you know how that goes. And I want you to get this message clear to someone. Funny to me. But anyway, you want to work with these planets, and you want to hustle these planets, and there may not be time, for you to like quit your job or whatever the case may be, and you may not want to set up a business that's grounded in stone to where you got to get up every day and work it for the next 10 years straight, because the energies of the planets may shift and change. So if you want to learn how to hustle hustle, that's why I use the term hustle. Not start a business off of working with the planets, but hustle. And I know a lot of people out there may not really know what hustling is. See, hustlers know things change. The way you ate yesterday, you're not gonna be able to eat that way today. Like if, say for instance, you was on the streets hustling, where the police was posted up at one day busting people, they ain't gonna be posted up there the next day. Where it was a good place for you to go and stand and hustle and get some sales one day, that's not gonna be a good place the next day. You gotta switch it up. You gotta learn how to vibe with the planet. So you gotta learn. It's about studying the psychology that the planets produce based upon where they are transiting at. Everywhere they transit, it creates a different psychology. And if you really deep into it, you got your natal chart or something, you can look at where these different signs are at and which houses of your natal chart, so you can kind of get even more deep and figure out, okay, say for instance, right now the sun is in Virgo. So Virgo represents health and science and things of that nature. So you may want to come up with a scheme so you can get you some money based upon the energies of Virgo. Just go read about Virgo on the website. And you can just think of this a way, okay, like how can I manifest something for myself in the next 30 days based upon Virgo? And Virgo is the jack of all trades. You have to remember that. So Virgo can have its hand in more than one thing. Virgo is the ultimate hustling sign if you really think about it, because Virgos don't really like sticking to one thing. They're a mutable sign. So this is a good time to be like presenting this type of information. But no matter where the sun is at, this works. This formula works. I know because I try it, I stand by it, and this is what I do. I have a formula on how I do my thing, and I'm not going to go into all of my little trade secrets and things of that nature, but I'm telling you, the thing works. Now, I'm not saying I'm rich. That's why I'm using the term hustle. I'm just like you, just out here, trying to make a buck for the most part. Like I'm not rich. I'm not a person. Yeah, you may see a lot of people listen to me online. That doesn't mean anything. These are free videos. So I'm just like you. I'm out here trying to make it just like everyone else. But I'm free though. And I'm working with creative energy. And I'm living just like these birds out here. You see these birds out here? They eating, you know what I'm saying, one way one day, and then the next day they got to go somewhere else and get some food. The spider got to go make food for us or get food for itself, no matter if it's raining or not. The spider got to build its web and figure out how it's going to get some money. Like it's been raining where I'm at since Thursday. It don't stop. But you have to learn how to flow with these energies. So to sit here and say that you create your own reality and everything that happens to you is based upon your thoughts, you limiting yourself because of the fact that it's only just energy. It's how you deal with the things that happen to you. It's not what happens to you. And if you want to learn how to hustle with the planets, you got to understand that the planets influence people to act a certain way. It doesn't make people. It only influences them to act a certain way. So like, yeah, when Mercury retrograde happens, people get a little bit mentally unstable because Mercury rules the mind. But at the same time, the way they're going to get mentally unstable is based upon how they think, based upon where, they may be imbalanced at. And how you deal with people that are unstable in Mercury retrograde, excuse me, while this food drive by. How you deal with people that are unstable during Mercury retrograde is going to dictate your abundance. What do I mean by that? So when Mercury is in retrograde, and say for instance somebody like what's going on right now, it's Mercury retrograde, so you see all this crazy stuff going on with me. I could get all bent out of show, man, I can't even do no video, all these people driving by, I just can't even deal with it no more. I'm just shutting this video down. I'm blocking myself. I'm stopping you from being able to hear this message if I allow this stuff to go on. So what am I doing? I'm working around and I'm playing the game with them. See what I'm saying? You're hearing the cars drive by and all of that type of stuff, and I'm just playing the game with them. I'm moving with the energies. I'm moving with the flow. Staying in the Tao De Jing. This is the ultimate way to learn how to hustle the planets. You have to study the Tao, which means to go with the flow, to learn how to flow with the energies of the planets as they move through the sky. So that's how you do this thing. So like just saying that, like I could just say, well, these cars, I'm creating my own reality because all these cars driving by. So let me shut this video down and figure out, go meditate and figure out a way to create another reality so I can get these cars to stop driving by. I can't stop these cars from driving by. I'm not creating this. These are unstable people that want to harass you and do all of this stuff or whatever because they know I'm a elite. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I make videos and I'm a popular person in town and they know who I am. Okay, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. But I'm just saying, like, I didn't create them. I didn't make them do that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I don't subscribe to that. But how I deal with it and how I accept that, that's where the lesson comes in at. And that's what I mean by going with the flow. So you see, I'm still flowing with it, and I'll be able to put them into the video even. Change the scope of the video. I didn't even plan on talking about this, but I was able to change the scope of the video because of what happened. So I'm monopolizing off of the scenarios that happen around me. I'm using my environment essentially as a way to gain inspiration from, like the artist does. See, this is what the eclipse has done for me and what it's going to do for you if you learn how to work with these energies of these planets or whatever and learn how to start tapping into your creativity and stop limiting yourself. Whereas, say for instance, I could be on the other end of the stick and saying that somebody else is making these people drive by and do this, and I'm basically up under someone else or some God, and I need to go pray to God and tell God, please God, stop these people from driving by. God ain't came yet. I mean, that's just how I believe. And no, I'm not an atheist because the atheist doesn't believe in a higher power. I do believe in a higher power, but the higher power is these planets and the energies that they influence. They don't make events happen necessarily. It's just the energy that they create. And if you're a good astrologer, you're good at predicting, sure, you can predict some stuff that's going to happen because most people are linear. So they're going to feed into whatever the scenario is, like with Virgo or Leo, they're going to feed into the energies of the planet. So yeah, you can predict things, but a ADAT is what we call it, or an elite is what I like to call it. You can't predict what he or she is going to do because they know what's going on up in the cosmos, so they can just flow around it. They're like magicians. They're tapped into the realm of illusion. They're illusionists. And essentially what they do is that they can create situations based upon what's going on. Like really all of this essentially, you can almost say that I've turned this into a perfect landscape based upon working with the energies of the planets. instead of being a victim to it. So being a victim, I can say, well, I'm gonna go call city council on these people. That's looking up to somebody and giving them the power over what's happening to me. I don't have time for that. The bird can't go call nobody to stop you from going and tearing up trees and messing with the bird's nests. The bird just got to go build another nest somewhere else. Ain't nobody gonna come and save you. So you gotta learn how to hustle with these planets. You gotta learn how to work with these planets. And that's why I feel like street credibility is just as credible as someone that went to school. I'm not taking away from somebody that went to school, but I have what's called not just street credibility, but common sense. That's all street credibility really is, having common sense to learn how to work with things. And people that's in corporate America, stuff like that, they lose their common sense because you're always looking up, waiting on somebody to change your situation for you, which really goes against common sense. Waiting on somebody to interview you, waiting to go on lunch break, waiting to go back to work the next day. See, they put you in a state where you fixed. And the planets, they don't stop moving, so why are you stopping? It don't stop, and you got to learn how to move independently. Learn how to move independent, not moving based upon following somebody. So this whole video reminds me of the song that Kanye and them made, and I'm going to shut down. And my man Hove, and they was like, human beings in a mob. What's a mob to a king? What's a king to a god? What's a god to a non-believer that doesn't believe in anything? And I'm saying that because not to just sound like I'm an MC or anything like that, but it's serious. That was some deep lyrics, man. Actually, Frank Ocean said it. Actually, I guess he wrote it too. And those were some deep lyrics or whatever. And I just want to quote that because that's how these people, they move in mobs. A mob is controlled by a boss. These are average human beings. And then a king is still locked in their karma, still controlled, but a king is controlled by the masses of the people. The barons can overthrow the king, right? The robber barons. So yeah, you a king, but they could take you off the throne. The people that you ruling over, the land that you ruling over, can overthrow you. The gods can overthrow you even. So the mob can get you, or the gods can get you, because the king is stuck in the middle. It's a hard position to be in. You see, and then you have what's called a god. And a God has a lot of power. God represents force and power. They can make changes in situations like that. But guess what? You got to believe in this God. If you stop believing in this God, then it doesn't work anymore. So if I tell you that you create your own reality and everything that's happening to you is happening to you because of what you created, if you believe in that, you just robbed yourself of power. You just robbed yourself of power. You shouldn't believe in anything. You just study science and energy and study what's happening. You can say, well, I got to believe that the sun is in Virgo. No, you don't. There are constellations up there clearly precise that the sun is in the constellation. It may not be called Virgo in all cultures, but the sun is in these star constellations, and these star constellations are known to create certain energies. They're known to create. Now, I can't say that that's factual or this or that, but I'm just saying from a psychological level, looking at it based upon, instead of just believing that Virgo means this, this, and this, doing tests to see what Virgo means, how people are acting during this time is the best way to be. So I'm not saying that you can't put your belief in something. I know I quoted that song. I'm not saying that you can't put your belief in something, but I'm just saying that you essentially have to weigh your options to become a scientist and weigh the good with the bad based upon where things are at and where planets are moving and what influences. If you don't got to use astrology, if you don't believe in astrology and you think that's hard to do, use numerology. I mean, we need some form of a ruler to base our life after. We need some form of a ruler or some measuring stick, to base our life after, or create your own modality then. And it works. You can create your own modality. Say when it's September 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, people are one way. When it's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, people are another way. When it's 21 through 30, people are another way. And guess what? People are going to start acting like the way that you believe based upon those dates. And then you could form a way of moving through based upon how people are acting or how the world is influenced based upon this modality that you just created. So I just taught you how to create your own modality. It's like an affirmation. If I believe, like for instance me, I pick up pennies all the time. If I see a penny on the ground, then that means that it's some abundant things getting ready to happen for me in my life. So if I start doing that, picking up pennies, I start noticing that abundant things are happening for me. This is a measuring stick. That's all it is. I could easily turn that off. That doesn't mean my abundance will turn off. I can just say I'm not going to be on that anymore. Now I'm going to accept this. Anytime it's sunny outside, things are abundant and are going to happen for me. And things will. So you have to learn how, but the thing is that it's about using creativity. That's just the bottom line of this message. Use your creativity to get out the situation that you're in. This is true astrology. This is true cosmic law. People want to be sovereigns. You see, you want to be a sovereign, but you haven't mastered cosmology, cosmic law. The bottom, you haven't mastered astronomy, learning about planets and what's the nature of, like, what's the weather like on Mars? What's the temperature of the sun? Learning these different things. If you want to be sovereign, a sovereign is a creative person, a creator. That's what a sovereign is. And you want to just get in the sovereignty movement, go write the government, sign your UCC1 documents, and expect them to give you some money back off your birth certificate, and that's just how it works. That's just like working the job. You ain't no better than somebody just writing out a resume, going to give it to somebody, saying I'm waiting for them to hire me for this job so I get my check. Everybody looking for a check. You know what I'm saying? Instead of learning and working, there's nothing wrong with getting the check, but I'm saying be creative. Be creative. You see, instead of being locked into a box. So I can't teach on sovereignty or teach you about any of that. I mean, I do know some stuff about sovereignty, like on a grounded level and about the law that works, but it's not going to make any sense to you if you don't understand astrology. And the people that's in the Great Seal know what I'm talking about. This is an organization, secret society called the Great Seal, based out of Ohio, started by C.M. Bay. And they know what I'm talking about. You know, like, you have to learn certain principles in a universe before you can move on. And here I am trying to teach this stuff to people. I don't really know who watches these videos, so I'm not finna go out deep into this stuff. And you may just start watching my videos. I'm not finna go out deep into this stuff. It takes time. So all I'm gonna say is that learn how to just start off with astrology. Learn where the sun is and what constellation it's in. And I don't care if you believe in Western or Eastern. And start working your energy based off of where you think the sun is, and your life will change. For me, 13 Signs Astrology was a better modality. It didn't resonate with my spirit just being in Western, so I couldn't use that. But if you want to use the 13 sign system, you can go on my website. Check out my website. I got all the dates listed up under this article called What is 13 Signs Astrology, which if you go to my website and click on blogs, you'll see a list of articles. Or click on articles and blogs, you'll see a list of articles, and one of the first ones is called What is 13 Signs Astrology. Check that article out, get the date so you can see exactly where the planets are at, when, and from there, do your thing. Work your magic from there. Learn the natures of the planets, go on a website, start looking up what does Virgo mean, what does Aries mean, what does Cancer mean, and set up hustles based on, or creative projects based on, when I say hustles, they're just creative projects based on where the planets are at. And you will watch, your situation will get better. Give you guys jewels, free information, man. One thing I can say is I might not be rich, but I'm out here making it on my own, man. Straight up on my own. You know, and I thank the people that support me and things like that. I'm not saying I don't have help, but at the end of the day, this all comes from my mind, and I'm thankful for that. So yeah, be coming out with another video soon. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this video down. Until we meet again, I'm gonna leave you in Hotep, peace. Get that money if that's what you want, or get that abundance, get that land, get that paperwork so you can become independent, or get that whatever you're striving for. Go get it, man. Peace.